Have you guys ever studied so much that it felt like your eyeballs were about to pop out of your head and run away just to get a break? No? Just me? Well, alright then. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather, and I am on a journey to get healthy and lose 100 pounds. Today, I'm going to tell you about what my weight loss and fitness goals are, and I'm going to stretch at the same time. I spend a lot of time sitting at my desk studying or in Zoom meetings for class, because everything's online these days, and I am very ready for a stretch break. So, if you guys want to stretch with me, by all means, go for it. I've been doing these stretches since 6th grade. It was something we did in like a middle school dance class, but it works for me. So if you want to join in, go for it. If you want to sit on your couch and watch, go for it. Are you guys ready to stretch with me? All right, so my biggest goal is the obvious one that I've mentioned before. I want to lose 100 pounds. When I started this journey, I was 271 pounds. This is roughly January of 2020. Right now, I am 245 pounds. So I'm down 26 pounds, assuming math is not failing me this morning. There's been a lot of studying, so it's quite possible. But I'm down 26 pounds, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, my long-term goal for weight loss is 100 pounds. But I set smaller goals along the way, partially just because it's nice to have something to get excited about, but because there's other things associated with it. So right now, my mini goal is to lose enough weight to get under 230 pounds. The reason that that particular weight is so important to me is because that is what I weighed when I got married 2 years ago. So it'll be nice to see that on the scale when it comes. My second goal is to be able to do the splits. I was able to through a good chunk of high school and through college, the early parts anyways, and in the last few years, I think I have gotten a little bit too stressed and distracted and a little bit lazy with my stretching, if I'm being honest. And I've lost some of that flexibility. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, if you're fat, you can't be flexible. You can't be in shape. Obviously, there are some difficulties with my weight, which is why I'm trying to change that. But I absolutely believe that you can still achieve fitness goals while you are a large person, whether or not you want to lose weight. I do want to lose weight, but I want to be able to do the splits. I'm not horribly far off at this moment, but I'm not as close as I would like to be, which is one of the reasons, hi Simba, this is Simba, which is one of the reasons that I am doing these stretches right now. Now, my third goal is a big one, and it's kind of, sorry, he's nosy, and it's kind of a combo goal. I've had obsessive compulsive disorder for just about my entire life. I got diagnosed in 5th grade. And one of the things that has affected is actually my eating. It went from some other obsessive compulsive habits, which I will cover in another video, and kind of morphed into compulsive eating. With the compulsive eating, I developed a sugar addiction, and that part started at a very, very young age. Like, the love story of my life is with sugar, sadly. And so I want to actually be able to get that in check, and that absolutely does mean therapy. Y'all, mental health is a big deal. People don't talk about it enough, and they really should. But I started doing cognitive behavioral therapy in January to get that kind of in check, and it is still an ongoing process. I have made a lot of progress, but I'm not where I want to be yet, and I want to continue that until I get to the point where I feel like food does not control my life, because living for food sucks. Like, if that is the only thing, hi mittens, we have a lot of cats, sorry. If the only thing that really keeps you going is wondering what you're gonna get to eat, when you're gonna get to eat it, and how much of it you're gonna get to eat, it sucks. And I'm gonna get you guys down on my level.
Hello, little kitty. I'm trying to film here. She doesn't care.
Welcome down to my level. My next goal might seem a little silly to some people, but to me it's a big deal. I want to be able to do a pull-up. Just one, not 100, not 300, just one. And the reason it is such a big deal to me is because in my entire life, I have never been able to do a pull-up. I've had plenty of friends of all walks of fitness being able to do pull-ups, and it is something that I have always wanted to achieve. Simba, I'm filming here. Hi. It's something I have always wanted to achieve. To me, it's kind of just a mark of being in shape, being able to do a pull-up. So it is on my list, and at this point in my journey, I'm definitely not able to lift my body weight, so losing weight will help with that, but I also want to improve my strength. Hi, you gonna stretch with me? Yeah? The yoga pose? Anyways, alright, so, as for my next goal, when I got married, or well, right before I got married, we took some engagement photos. And I know the big thing in so many engagement photos is the guy being able to like pick up the girl and swing her around or do some sort of, gravity defying nonsense. I'm gonna pull this back down. And for us, we definitely couldn't do that. Both my husband and myself are some fluffy people, which we're both working on. But he wasn't able to pick me up for any of the shots. It actually resulted in some really comical photos where we basically had him sit in a chair and then hold me but cut it to where it looked like he was sort of lifting me but still kind of obvious he wasn't. And then of course, I wanted to be able to pick him up too. That's also my goal list, but that's just for strength's sake. That's not really a big goal. But we still do pictures both ways. I would love for my husband or really any person to be able to pick me up, just to be light enough to do that. It sounds a little silly, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, some guy can pick me up. I feel so feminine, huh? It's super silly, but whatever, it's my life. That's what I want. So my next goal actually has a lot to do with me being a student. As I mentioned in my last video, I am a physical therapy student. And for our labs, a lot of those are spent with the men being shirtless and the women being in sports bras. In my case, I wear a tank top. And the funny thing is, to backtrack a little bit, it's so you can actually find certain structures on each other and also know how to fix them, and you actually do have to have clothes out of the way for that. Now, and it's one of those things where it's not supposed to be a big deal, everyone gets used to it, whatever. For me, I'm the weird one. I had my first lab yesterday, and I was super not okay with just being in my sports bra. And the funny thing is, I'm not ashamed of my body, at all. I've got some pretty good body confidence. I'm not out there prancing around dudes in the streets, but most of my friends have seen me with very little clothes on at some point in time, and I don't even know how it came about. It just kind of happens. I don't know. Most of my friends have been friends since middle school or high school. And I swear to God, is anyone ever clothed in high school? So many weird stories. I don't know. Point being, I'm not ashamed of my body in regard to people that I am super, super comfortable with. It's whatever. I'm not a shy person. I mean, I'm making a YouTube channel for Pete's sake. This is for anyone to see. But I'm not a shy person. I am rather loud. I have no problem talking to strangers. I actually think it's kind of fun. And the idea of making a speech in front of 500 people does not scare the crap out of me. I actually think it'd be super fun. Speech was one of my favorite classes. But for some reason, I am just not comfortable just being like, whatever, I'm in a sports bra. Hi, Simba. He's really nosy today. I'm just not comfortable with it. And so for me, I want to make being in lab, because it's a professional setting, it's not like we're all, like checking each other out or something. But I want to be able to be comfortable in lab, being in like shorts and a sports bra, and be like, you know what, whatever. This is literally part of like learning things from my profession, and it's my body confidence challenge, if you will. Now, the other area where I seem to be struggling with, ouch, a random splinter. Why, floor? Why? Our floors aren't finished yet, so they're a little stabby. Ow. So my other body confidence challenge is actually to be able to go dance in public and feel totally comfortable with it, whether or not I'm skilled at it or not. Another weird area where I just have confidence issues is dancing. Like, I don't know why. It just makes me super nervous. And I don't feel very skilled about it. And part of the problem with being overweight is if you shake in your thing, there's a lot of things bouncing behind you. Like your booty just don't stop moving. And I would very much like to have the confidence and skill set to just go out there and dance and enjoy myself. I also want to use dancing as a way to lose some additional calories and get in shape. So that is definitely on my list. Number 8 of my goals is to get really, really nice buns and thighs. And that's all about that squat life. That is an area where I have struggled with, and that is a fitness goal I'm looking forward to. It's just kind of part of the process. The more I work out, the better I get at it, the more I learn about it. I would really like to be able to have, frankly, a really nice butt, rather than just a really large butt. Be large and toned. That would be nice. One of the goals I have also, and there's 10 altogether, is to learn to listen to my body. It's something that I am in progress with right now, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm still learning how to actually realize when I'm full, or maybe if I actually need to eat something or not. And part of that helps with doing all of the therapy for like my food issues. But it's an ongoing process. Like sometimes a victory for me is not what would be a victory for someone else. For example, I'm still working on cutting back my sugars and being healthier with it, but last night I had 2 cookies, and I knew, because one every now and then is fine, I'm not trying to go hog wild, but I knew after the first one I was like, okay, I still kind of want another cookie. But I kind of want all the cookies. And last night, sorry, that's not a stretch, that was just me sitting weirdly. Last night, I had 2 cookies and was actually able to listen to my body and say, you know what? I think that's enough, I should stop. And yes, I should have stopped after the first cookie. But the reason I'm still considering it a win is because the me from last year would have had like 5 cookies and been like, oh, I feel like crap now. Me right now, not perfect. Obviously I have a long way to go, in progress, but I'm gradually learning to actually listen to my body when it's like, hey, maybe you don't need this. All right. And the last of my goals and the last of my stretches is just, I want to be able to climb a rock climbing wall. I have only ever made it to the top of 1 rock climbing wall in my life, and it was definitely an easy course, and even that dang near killed me, and that was more than 100 pounds ago. So I want to get strong enough to do it, and along with that, conquer a little bit of a fear of falling from heights, but I still want to be strapped in, I'm not insane. Oh, I know that. Like, I'm not trying to fall off a cliff. I just want to go rock climbing at like some place that does rock climbing. And succeed at getting to the top. I think it would be great. Are you helping? Excuse me. Alright, guys. Those are all 10 of my goals and all of my stretches. So I feel a lot better. I hope you do too. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to do all that like and comment and subscribe stuff and that little bell so you can get notifications. Thank you guys for being with me on this journey, and y'all have an awesome day.